For decades, The Bold and the Beautiful has been a cornerstone of daytime television, captivating audiences worldwide with its blend of high-stakes drama, intense romance, and complex family dynamics. Since its debut in 1987, the show has woven intricate storylines centered around the powerful Forrester family and their fashion empire. But among the many characters who have come and gone, few have commanded the screen quite like Bill Spencer. Portrayed by Don DeMont, Bill Spencer, often known by fans as Dollar Bill, was once the embodiment of sharp business acumen and ruthless determination. A billionaire mogul with a knack for always staying one step ahead, Bill was a character who inspired both fear and admiration. His ability to manipulate situations and people with ease made him one of the most compelling figures on The Bold and the Beautiful, and his influence on the show's central families ran deep. However, recent storylines have painted a different picture of Bill. Many longtime fans are now questioning whether the real Bill Spencer is still on the canvas. Instead of the fierce and calculating titan viewers remember, the character has seemed vulnerable, even gullible, falling prey to schemes and manipulation in ways that feel out of character. This shift has sparked lively debate across fan forums and social media, with many calling for a return to the Bill Spencer they once loved. In this detailed preview, we will explore Bill's journey from his heyday as a master strategist to his current struggles with deception and heartbreak. We'll dive into the recent twists involving Luna Nozawa's manipulation and the latest troubling developments with Dr. Grace Buckingham's questionable medical procedures. Along the way, we'll examine what these storylines mean for Bill's character and what fans can expect in the coming episodes. Is there hope for Bill to reclaim his power and fire? Or has the character changed forever? Stay with us as we unpack the drama, the disappointment, and the potential redemption arc for one of The Bold and the Beautiful's most iconic players. The man who had it all to understand why so many fans are yearning for the real Bill Spencer to return. It's important to look back at what made this character so unforgettable in the first place. From the moment Don DeMont stepped into the role, Bill became synonymous with power, cunning, and an unrelenting drive to win, both in business and in his personal life. Bill Spencer was never the kind of man to back down from a fight. As the head of Spencer Publications, he built an empire that rivaled the Forresters themselves, matching them blow for blow in the cutthroat world of fashion and media. But it wasn't just his business savvy that made Bill stand out. It was his instinct for strategy, his razor-sharp mind, and a willingness to play hardball when necessary. Whether negotiating high-stakes deals or scheming behind closed doors, Bill always seemed to have the upper hand. Beyond his corporate conquests, Bill was a complex character with deep personal motivations. His love life was tumultuous, filled with fiery romances and bitter rivalries, particularly involving the women in his life: Steffi, Katie, Brooke, and others. His fierce loyalty to his children, especially Liam and Wyatt, added layers to his personality, showing that beneath the tough exterior was a man who deeply cared about family, even if his methods were sometimes questionable. This blend of business ruthlessness and personal vulnerability made Bill a fan favorite. Audiences admired how he could be both a formidable adversary and a man capable of growth and redemption. His commanding presence and sharp dialogue made for some of the show's most memorable moments. From corporate takeovers to explosive family confrontations, Dollar Bill was always at the center of the action, a force to be reckoned with. It's this legacy that makes Bill's recent portrayal so jarring to many viewers. The man who once ruled the boardroom with an iron fist now seems uncertain, even susceptible to deception. But before we dive into the missteps and recent twists that have challenged Bill's character, let's take a moment to appreciate the powerful persona that captivated fans and made him a defining figure on The Bold and the Beautiful. For many longtime viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful, the evolution of Bill Spencer's character over the past few seasons has been difficult to watch. Once a savvy and commanding presence, Bill has found himself repeatedly outmaneuvered by others, a stark departure from the confident mogul fans admired. Most notably, his vulnerability has been exploited by Luna Nozawa, a young woman who managed to fool Bill into believing she was his daughter, turning his world upside down. Luna's storyline began with a dramatic twist: a rigged DNA test that convinced Bill he had a previously unknown daughter. This revelation, initially shocking, struck a chord with Bill's deeply personal side, awakening hopes of family connection and reconciliation. However, what should have been a moment of joy quickly spiraled into deception. Luna's true motives were far darker, involving criminal acts that endangered those Bill cared about most, including his son, Liam Spencer. What makes this storyline so frustrating for fans is how easily Bill was duped. Dollar Bill was always portrayed as a man who could spot a con from miles away, someone who wouldn't fall for emotional manipulation. Yet, despite clear warning signs, Bill was blinded by the hope Luna's story offered. He even went so far as to secure her release from prison, allowing her house arrest and eventual pardon, decisions that had severe consequences. Luna's unchecked freedom led to chaos as she spiraled out of control and harmed people within Bill's inner circle. The fallout was significant, with Bill's own son Liam becoming one of Luna's victims. This betrayal cut deep, highlighting Bill's failure to protect those he loves and signaling a decline in the character's sharp instincts. As if this were not enough, Bill's judgment has come under further scrutiny in his dealings with Dr. Grace Buckingham. Grace, a respected physician introduced as a beacon of hope, quickly became entangled in a storyline rife with suspicion and potential deceit. Bill, desperate to find a cure for Liam's serious health issues, put his faith in Grace's experimental procedures despite mounting red flags. Where the real Bill Spencer might have approached the situation with caution or outright skepticism, the current portrayal has him ignoring critical warning signs. Bill's desperation to save Liam appears to have clouded his judgment, leaving him vulnerable to manipulation once again. Grace's involvement in Liam's medical condition, including the controversial tumor diagnosis and the miraculous surgery, is now under a cloud of doubt. Rumors and spoilers suggest that Liam's tumor, and possibly the entire surgery, could be fabricated. If true, this would be yet another blow to Bill's credibility and a harsh reminder of how far removed he has become from the calculating powerhouse he once was. The Dollar Bill, who would have smelled out a scam instantly, now seems slow to recognize the danger until it's too late. This ongoing arc has divided fans. Some sympathize with Bill's emotional turmoil, understanding that his love for Liam could easily overwhelm his better instincts. Others lament the writing choices that have softened his character to the point of seeming gullible and weak. For a character who built his reputation on intelligence and control, watching him stumble through deception has been a bitter pill to swallow. Nonetheless, these challenges set the stage for a potential turning point. Bill's journey through betrayal and manipulation could reignite the fire that once made him a dominant force on the show. But only time will tell if The Bold and the Beautiful's writers will restore Bill Spencer to his former glory, or continue down a path that leaves fans longing for the man they once knew. Bill's current predicament, the Grace Buck. As if Bill Spencer's recent heartbreaks and betrayals weren't enough, the latest twist in The Bold and Place. Liam's battle with a suspected brain tumor has been a harrowing experience for everyone involved. With the stakes higher than ever, Bill's desperation to find a cure and protect his son's life has made him vulnerable in unexpected ways. It's clear that Bill is clinging to any glimmer of hope, and Grace's promises of an innovative, experimental surgical procedure seemed like a lifeline. At first glance, Grace appears to be a beacon of expertise and compassion. She's calm, professional, and confident in her ability to treat Liam's condition. Bill, always the protector, puts his faith in her judgment, hoping that her cutting-edge treatment will save Liam from a grim fate. But as the storyline unfolds, viewers and fans begin to notice cracks beneath the surface. Despite Grace's credentials, several red flags start popping up. Whispers about the legitimacy of Liam's tumor and the true nature of the surgery swirl around the core group of characters, and the audience is left wondering if Grace is truly the healer she appears to be. The fact that Bill, known for his ruthless business instincts and sharp intuition, fails to question these anomalies is troubling for many fans. It suggests a side of Bill that is either too emotionally compromised or simply too trusting. A stark contrast to the man who once saw through every lie and deception. The gravity of the situation is magnified by Bill's emotional state. He has been through so much already. The Luna deception, family conflicts, and business battles have taken their toll. His desperation to find hope for Liam's recovery leaves him susceptible to Grace's manipulation, whether intentional or accidental. This vulnerability raises important questions. Is Grace exploiting Bill's love and fear? Is she hiding something more sinister? Or is Bill's judgment clouded by the very human need to believe in a miracle? According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, a major reveal is looming. The truth about Grace's involvement in Liam's treatment and potentially the legitimacy of Liam's tumor, will shake Bill to his core. Fans expect that once the deception comes to light, Bill will be forced to confront the harsh reality of being duped once again. This could serve as a critical wake-up call, reigniting the sharp instincts and fierce determination that once defined his character. If Bill rises from this setback as many hope, he might take decisive action to expose Grace's true motives and protect his family from further harm. This storyline could mark the beginning of a redemption arc, bringing back the confident, calculating Dollar Bill fans have been waiting for. The path forward remains uncertain. Bill's emotional wounds and the consequences of misplaced trust might lead to more challenges before he reclaims his power. What remains clear is that Grace Buckingham's storyline has introduced fresh drama and tension, one that puts Bill Spencer at the heart of one of the Bold and the Beautiful's most suspenseful arcs in recent memory. With Bill Spencer's recent trials, from being deceived by Luna Nozawa to potentially falling victim to Grace Buckingham's medical ruse, The Bold and the Beautiful is steering one of its most iconic characters into uncharted territory. These storylines don't just reveal cracks in Bill's judgment, they open the door to an important question. Can Bill regain the fierce, commanding presence that once made him a fan favorite, or has his character fundamentally changed? For years, Bill was a powerhouse. He was the man who could negotiate with the best, scheme flawlessly, and always anticipate the next move. His sharp wit and ruthless ambition earned him a place at the top of B&B's complex hierarchy of power. Fans loved him for it, and they loved the tension he brought whenever he appeared on screen. He was a force to be reckoned with. Bill's repeated lapses in judgment have left viewers wondering whether the writers have softened him too much, sacrificing some of that edge to make way for more emotionally vulnerable moments. Some fans argue that showing Bill's human side is important. It adds depth and complexity to the character. Yet there's a fine line between vulnerability and weakness. When Bill repeatedly falls for lies or ignores obvious warning signs, it risks turning him into a caricature of his former self. The upcoming revelations about Grace Buckingham and the supposed tumor could be the turning point that brings back the Bill Spencer everyone remembers. Once the truth is out, Bill may face a choice: continue down a path of misplaced trust and heartbreak, or channel his anger and disappointment into reclaiming his position as a shrewd, no-nonsense player in the corporate and family drama. There is great potential for a dramatic reset. Bill could emerge from this turmoil more determined and ruthless than ever, seeking justice and protecting those he loves with renewed vigor. This could restore much-needed balance to his character and re-energize his relationships, particularly with Liam, whose health and safety remain at the forefront of Bill's concerns. Additionally, Bill's comeback would inject fresh tension into The Bold and the Beautiful's ongoing storylines. His clashes with Grace, potential battles over Liam's care, and renewed business rivalries could fuel compelling drama for months to come. Fans who have felt frustrated by Bill's recent portrayal would finally get the fiery Dollar Bill back, sparking excitement and anticipation for new episodes. On the other hand, there's always the risk that the show continues to portray Bill as overly gullible or emotionally compromised. That path could further alienate fans who crave the Bill Spencer, who is confident, cunning, and always in control. Ultimately, the writers face a delicate balancing act: how to evolve Bill's character realistically, without losing the qualities that made him unforgettable. As the story unfolds, The Bold and the Beautiful viewers will be watching closely, hoping for a return to form. Will Bill's setbacks lead to a powerful comeback? Will he learn from his mistakes and reclaim his rightful place as one of the show's dominant forces? Or will he remain a character caught between vulnerability and strength, struggling to find his footing? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Bill Spencer's journey remains one of the most compelling and emotionally charged arcs on The Bold and the Beautiful today. Bill Spencer's story on The Bold and the Beautiful is a roller coaster of power, betrayal, vulnerability, and hope. Once the unstoppable Dollar Bill, who ruled with sharp instincts and iron will, Bill has recently faced unprecedented challenges that have tested his judgment and resilience. From being fooled by Luna Nozawa's deceitful schemes to potentially falling victim to Grace Buckingham's questionable medical plot, the character has entered a vulnerable phase that has divided fans. This vulnerability also opens the door for a compelling redemption arc. The upcoming revelations about Grace and Liam's health crisis could reignite the fierce, strategic Bill Spencer that audiences fell in love with years ago. If the show's writers seize this opportunity, Bill's comeback could be one of the most exciting developments in The Bold and the Beautiful's recent history. For now, fans are left eagerly awaiting the fallout, hoping that Bill will learn from his mistakes, reclaim his power, and once again become the dominant, commanding force on screen. The real Bill Spencer, the one who is smart, tough, and unyielding, is still out there. Will he return stronger than ever? Time will tell. Thank you for joining us in this detailed preview of Bill Spencer's journey. Stay tuned to The Bold and the Beautiful for all the drama, surprises, and powerful moments yet to come. Hello and goodbye.